Sri Gopakumar continued, "Hearing this, and losing interest in Indra's post, I yearned to see the Lord worshipped by these great, supremely worshipable sages. Desiring this, as I chanted my mantra, very soon I went by airplane up to that planet, and there saw all was faultless and beyond description. The happiness, opulence, and worship was not like that in the three worlds." Sanatana Goswami explains that the happiness there is faultless because 1. There is no fear it will perish at the arrival of Brahma's night. 2. It is free from material rivalry. And 3. It is not a cause of future suffering. The opulence there is faultless because it is freed from diminution and other faults. The worship is faultless because it is done without material motives. When thousands of devotee sages perform great fire sacrifices, the Lord of sacrifices rises from the fire and enjoys pastimes of eating the offerings. Charming the world's hearts and splendid as millions of suns, he who is the personification of sacrifices extends his hands, accepts the offerings, and blesses the worshippers. To me, filled with awe and reverence, and happily bowing before him, with his own hand he gave me his prasadam remnants. By his great mercy I attained unprecedented bliss, and all my desires were fulfilled. Wandering with the kind sages, I saw in every home the Lord of the universes. Sanatana Goswami explains that this was the form of the Lord, appearing in the sacrificial fire and eating the offerings. Thinking I had attained all success, I very happily lived there. Sanatana Goswami explains that Gopakumar thought that his birth and his mantra chanting were successful, because now, by the Lord's grace, he could directly see the many forms of the Lord of the universes. The great sages said, "O son of a Gopa Vaishya, please accept from us the status of a Brahmin. Become one of the great sages and worship with sacrifices the Lord of the universes you long desired to see." Gopakumar continued, "O Brahmin, when I heard this, I thought, there is great happiness in being a Vaishya, for then I can serve both the Lord and his Brahmin devotees. By staying with these sages devoted only to sacrifices, I will become lax in chanting the mantra, taught by my spiritual guru, and which shows me such good results." Sanatana Goswami explains that from chanting his mantra came the results of kingdoms on earth, the kingship of Svarga, and the attainment of Maharloka. Showing all respect to them, but not accepting the status of a Brahmin, I continued to live there, enjoying the great happiness of the Prajapatis. In that place there is no fault, lamentation, or anxiety. There is nothing but festivals of sacrifices for the pleasure of the Lord of sacrifices. However, when the sacrifices are over and the Lord disappears, there is suffering. And when the sacrifices are performed and the Lord appears, again there is happiness. When the three worlds burn at the end of 1,000 Chatur Yugas, the sages go to Janaloka. Then, when it was like night and there were no sacrifices, the Lord of the sacrifices was not seen. For me, this was a fire greater than the fire of devastation. Thus, taking shelter of Sri Purushottama Kshetra, which stands in the shade of an eternal banyan tree, I saw Lord Jagannath and became happy. Sanatana Goswami explains that because it is shaded by that eternal banyan tree, Purushottama Kshetra is not destroyed at the time of cosmic devastation. When I returned to Maharloka, my chanting done in secret as before made me unhappy, for I wished to see Vrindavan. When I worshipped the Lord, who is an ocean of kindness, he appeared and affectionately called me and gracefully ate what I offered. All my unhappiness went away, as darkness disperses with the rising of the sun. Now, bound by desires, I had no power to go anywhere else, even at night. Sanatana Goswami explains that, shackled by the desire to see and worship the Lord of Sacrifices, Kumar would not go to Purushottama Kshetra or any other place at the time of Brahma's night. One day, a naked and very splendid boy, only 5 or 6 years of age, came from the higher planets. Leaving their sacrifices, standing up with devotion and bowing down, the great sages worshipped that meditating sage as if he were the Lord of Sacrifices. After he left, I asked the great sages, "Who is he? Where is he from? Why do you worship him?" The great sages answered, "His name is Sanat Kumar. He is older than we. He is a very great soul. He is the first guru of the Atmaramas and the Aptakamas, they who have attained all desires. He has taken a great vow of celibacy. He lives in a higher world named Tapaloka with 3 brothers, great yogis as he is. That place is attained only by celibate sages. There, the auspicious happiness of celibate sages is millions of times greater than the happiness of the Prajapatis. We householders abandoned our duties and worshipped Sanat Kumar because he is as much to be worshipped as the Lord of Sacrifices himself.